All right. Well, I guess we're early. Oh well. We'll get going early then, huh? Hello, welcome back. Thanks for stopping by. We are continuing the Neo Zeong. I'm finally around to building it last, what was that, Saturday? Yeah, I was thinking it was Saturday that we started on it. And we got this much done after about 3 hours. And this is a hefty chunk of plastic. For a quick comparison, this is the size of the high grade that rides inside of this. So if you're used to a standard high grade size, you should kind of know that. Well, this is a little big for a high grade. It's about the size of like a late UC master grade, kind of the F91. But yeah, this is big. These are just the shoulders. So it was a little slow going at the beginning because there was a lot of panel lining and a lot of detailing and a lot of decaling that we had to do for this. But the good news is I think we are completely out of foil stickers. There's 2 gray ones left. I don't even know what those are for. And the rest just seems to be really big parts. So I think it should go a little quicker than it did on Saturday. Because, like I said, this was 3 hours of work just to do this much. And most of it was spent just on these front parts here, kind of detailing. Well, let's get the other camera going. Detailing these red parts, all these little open areas that I don't know if they are missiles, maybe? That's kind of the standard shape of a missile head that would kind of project out of there. I'm not really sure. But I guess we'll find out. They can be anything we want to be with the power of imagination. Or something like that. So, let's... we finished with these gigantic arm nubs, which you can see big old arms are going to get shoved on here eventually. I actually didn't peek ahead, so I don't know what order they have us building in after we got this far. So this was the last step we did. We have a little bit of front. I guess that's kind of hooking on where he fits in because his feet kind of rest in here. Closing off the arms. Oh, there's the other 2 gray stickers. After that, we're completely done with gray stickers. That's awesome. And where do we go? What are these? Backpack? No, it can't be a backpack. Ah, okay. Big shoulder thrusters. These are enormous pieces, but they're already cut out. They came like not even on a runner, so this should be pretty quick. I don't know how much detailing goes on in here. I'm going to have to dry fit this part with this and see how much of this we see after the fact. But this should all be relatively quick. And then we move on to, this looks like front skirts, and maybe this is the hip unit. Let's see. Yep, then we start building up the hip and the back. Okay, so I think we'll probably make a good chunk of progress on this today, just because the parts are so damn big. I also did a little bit of organizing with all these parts, because before I kind of dumped them out into a pile, and I just tried putting as much as I could on the table. So now I have it sort of like, there's like 3 or 4 of each of the same runners for a lot of the arm parts. So I've kind of organized them at least by runner, and then by color of plastic, and then by letter. So it should be a lot less of me digging through this enormous pile of plastic to find the parts that we're looking for. So with that said, let's go. Let's jump into this. We only need 2 parts, but I don't know what 2 parts. We need, oh no, I guess we need a couple more. WH, WA, regular W, and X1. What are all these? It helps by color, because that's how they're separated here. So we need W, plain old W, which is that one. Okay, That's the... Oh, I also, in the meantime, I did a little bit of work. I built the base of this just because there were a bunch of parts for the action base. I put that together off stream, which is mostly these parts here. But we got that done. So we need W. We're going to need WH, WA, and X1. X1 is what color? X1, gray. Okay. Let's look. Gigantic parts. God. Here's X1. We need that one. Oh! Thank you so much for the follow. What is that? Oh, Femboy board. I couldn't read the rest of it before it went off the screen. But thank you for the follow. I'm glad my alerts are working, because the other day they weren't. And then I felt like a goon when I had missed a bunch of people that followed. WHWA1. Neo Zeong. It's certainly one of the more interesting kits. WH. I wish I had more room to spread it out, but we're making do. Alright, what color is this? What? W, we need X1. Have you built one of these? Or have you watched other people? W, okay, we need regular W, which we have. X1. X1 is gray. We have that one. WH and WA. WA is light gray. And WH is FG white. Okay. Oh, nice. That's got to be a fun job. Or task, or whatever you want to call it. Right. Now I need WA1. There's so many parts. That's a nice payment. Did you get to pick any three you wanted, or? What is that thing? WA1. I must have put it on the wrong. That's pretty cool. Hey, what's up, Extra? That's pretty cool. Was it, which Neo Zeong did you build? Did you build the red one, or like the original, or the narrative? There's so many damn parts. I'm losing my mind. XA1. I don't even know what that is. There it is. Okay. XA15. No, that's XA2. Where's XA1? Nice. So, my only disappointment, and I use the term lightly, is the packaging. It has box 1 and box 2. And they didn't really differentiate. Hey, what's up, 3 Fat Cooks? Yeah, we're finally getting around to the Neo Zeong itself. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't like break up the kit by box more, because like I've built Some perfect grades that were like that. Like you'd open it up and the box kind of tells you that these are the parts for the weapons in the backpack, or this is the part for the actual, the Gundam itself. Versus me just kind of guessing because I had to pretty much open everything and dump it all out just to find out, like, what is any of this stuff? X116. Where are we at? 16. There it is. But it wouldn't have been a problem if I had more room to spread this stuff out. So I don't really fault the kit for that. It just would have been more helpful if they kind of did like, hey, the first, the main kit would be box A, and build everything in box A, and then you move on to box B, something like that. But that's a minor gripe. So we're going to need 2 of those as well. And they're right here. I do keep forgetting that this is a high grade. Because I sometimes look at the lack of detail on some of this and I'm like, why does this look so plain? They could have done so much more with this. And then I realize, oh yeah, it is a high grade. Maybe. I remember Lego sets back before they used to do that, but a lot of modern ones, you're right, I haven't built any in a while, but a lot of modern ones, they will do that. They'll just be like, these are all the parts from this whole bag, dump it all out and build it up. Oop, hang on. These go up here. And then we'll need Q. Let's grab Q while we're at it. We'll do everything on this page in one big go. I think that's Q. That is Q. Q2 and Q1. Like I built, you can't see it because the mic. Well, you can see it right there, right to the left of the microphone is the perfect grade 007 sword, and it's kind of a okay kit. It's not the best kit, but what I liked about that is when you opened it up, there was one kit that had all the weapons in it. It was all 7 swords, the backpack, everything else. So I knew everything in that box I didn't need right away. I mean, I could build it first if I wanted to, but I just knew, like, I could open the first box and have a build order that was just, hey, you only need these first, and then later on, here's some more parts. I have the perfect strike, perfect grade in my backlog, and I do believe that one is kind of the same way too. Maybe that's something that they just reserve for perfect grades because there's so many more parts. God, these nubs are huge. It's all right, we'll clean them up. Also, 3 fat cooks. I thought of you the other day because I just saw on P Bandai that they have a new narrative kit out. Are you in the UK? I don't know if P Bandai ships to the UK. But I know you said the other day you were trying to collect all the narrative kits. Nice. Yeah, I know a few people who are in Europe who have problems where they can't get P Bandai shipments to them. So, I mean, they're in Bosnia. I don't know all the logistics of getting something there, but I know more. Probably UK is a little easier than Europe, maybe. I don't know. Where was it? I just saw it. Is it going already? Franchise. Gundam. be gone already. Well, that's not the one that I saw, but that one's up there too. Oh, they're doing this Gundam shop thing where they have all kinds of those clear kits. I hate the clear kits. I don't know about you guys. They have this one, but this is not the one that I saw the other day. It's the Narrative CPAX Titanium, but there was a blue one. It looked pretty cool. This is it. CPAX Awakening. This was the one that I saw the other day. I don't know if those are recolors of other kits or not, but oh, nice. I was really tempted to get the titanium finish Sazabi kit, but I have the regular Sazabi kit, and that's expensive enough, and I haven't even put it together. And I'm like, why would I buy the same kit again just to put it in my backlog next to the other one? So I'm making a command decision to probably not pick it up for now. If it weren't almost $200, maybe I would, but it's a lot of money just to put it in the backlog. Yup. Oh, and you know what really truly lets me know that I've got brain damage is the fact that I will be like, oh, let me buy this model kit. Oh, it's going to ship in 8 to 10 days? That's unacceptable. I'll pay like $25 to get it here in 24-hour overnight shipping just to put it in the backlog. I'm just like, why do I do that? But that backlog was mostly the product of the pandemic, when nothing was in stock anywhere. So I was like, well, I'm gonna buy stuff when it's available. Not because I have time or room for it, but I'm gonna buy it simply because I want it and it's available. So now I've got a bunch of stuff that I don't have to like hunt for. All right. All the nubs are gone, but there are some gross nub marks. So let's start cleaning up. Yeah, there's a gross one. At least it's a light colored plastic. Hang on a sec, I need a new balancer. These are nice for what they are, and I probably don't need them, but they wear out so quickly. Just doing this. Whoa, all right. Wow, there's actually flash on this kit. I don't think I've seen flash on a Gundam kit that has been made in the past 20 years. I think it's just because these parts are so big and so thick that maybe the mold is a little janky. I kept seeing it in one angle, and then I'd turn it and I wouldn't see it. And I thought, oh, there's nothing there, until I realized, yeah, it's all just flashed over. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. And there's still flash. That's gross. That is gross. You can't see it, but, well, you can kind of see it. There's flash right here along the edge of that part. This one's not flashed, which is good. None of them should be, but we'll make do. Yo, oh, I hate that. One's clean. This one needs some trimming. Where's my knife? Oh, with my knife. Where is it? Did it fall on the floor? No. Oh, it's right there. I was staring directly down the barrel of it. clean. This one has some gross. Whatever this plastic is sucks. It's stressed up way too much. Go. That cleaned up awesome. I don't know why it bothers me when that thing's crooked, but it does. Alright, so let's see. Let's do a zoom. Did it turn off? It did turn off. Go back. Zoom. So that's got a gross nub mark on the plastic, but we cleaned that side up pretty well. So let's try and get this one to match. Kind of shitty on the back, but we're not going to see the back, are we? I saw another one on here. There it is. Let's get rid of that. Beautiful. All right. So now we got a bunch of really big parts. Oh no, we still got these things. Forgot, I moved those off to the side. These have some annoying parts in the way. They've got all sorts of like raised texture in the way, so I can't sand. I'm gonna have to like try and whittle down, shave them down with my knife. That's a horrible gate location. I mean, I don't think these parts are very visible. I think they're like underside. But come on. Don't make me do this. All right. So first step is that piece, this piece. Then we're doing these two. Then we do the undersides, then so I don't know if we need to panel line these, but I'm going to. Because they're going to be front and center. And they're going to be visible right near the cockpit. So I want to use extra detail where we can. Oops. All right. Let's clean up all the areas where I just said oops. All right. So those are good. Now we're going to get some gray. Now, the last two color correcting stickers go right on there. I think maybe these go on little things that get popped in here, because I don't feel like they don't just leave those open. That looks dumb. I feel like later on we'll take something and put it over there, and that's probably where those go to match. So for now, a little bit of gray, just enough for some highlights almost. Those aren't even panel lines, they're just like angled indentations or something. I'll have to be like super careful because you have to almost like go only one way. Yeah, see, it's coming right out because they're not even really panel lines, they're like pits. Gonna leave them alone on this one because they look okay. And I screwed them up on this one. There we go. So let's clean up the overrun, and that's all we're gonna do. I'm gonna leave that. So we're going to take A, sticker A, goes onto this piece. That looks so bad because it doesn't fit fully in there. You just got to kind of center it. So now I got to make the one match on the other side by eyeballing it. Yeah, so with the exception of these that I don't know if we need, I think we're done with the decals. All right, let's get this guy back out. So first, this goes on here. And we lock it in with this part. I believe this is like the front door part, because this little peg here is where the action base normally goes, like in the crotchal region. Yep. So he's got a... If you look right up between his legs, there's a hole right there. And that hole is what that peg goes into. So I guess he's almost going to be in like a kneeling position. And then I assume he fits on there, and then we close it up like that. So we slide that down, 15. Now we flip these over. We've got these gigantic armpit area parts. Where do these lock on? This goes... Oh, I am going to have to squeeze this then. Squeeze. There we go. Just a bit. There we go. Yeah, these are like armpit housings. Which is good though, because we were having a little bit of trouble with a gap that we had to like squeeze really tight to get those to close, and those will lock that gap down for us. So that's good. Yeah, that feels more solid now. Yeah. Which part goes on first? I think this one goes on lower. There we go. And now this goes on the upper. There we go. So that's like the cockpit part. Cool. Now this, how does this go on? Oh, man, this whole thing is kind of janky. Like, I know it's a high grade. I know they're hollow. I get it. But it's like, this whole hollow piece just kind of closes up like that. It fits in there nice and snug, but when you look at it, it's like, when you look right down in there, you can see how hollow that is. Yeah, the back you can see very well. All this. Wild. But, as we've said, that's what you get with a high grade. You knew it was going to be hollow in there. It's mostly like window decorations. Alright, well that was a lot of steps. Or a lot of plastic in minimal amount of steps. So now we're going to be building these booster things and getting the shoulders going. These. I saved these. So we need 2 of each. I like to build everything in pairs at the same time because it saves me a little bit of sanity later. Not a lot, but a little bit. Z14. What the heck is Z14? Z, WX, X, Y, Z. Okay, Z, dark gray, Z1, 4. Got it. Those are right here, I believe? Yes. No, that's Y. Here we are. So we're going to need 4 of these, which is good because we only have 4. These boosters on a high grade are bigger than anything I've put on a perfect grade. All right, so we got those. Oh, what did I just pick up? Oh. Now we're gonna need 1, 2. And then these are 2 more runners we can throw in a scrap pile. It's always satisfying when like you've completely used up a runner and you're just like, I'm done with it. I can move it to the scrap pile, move it away. And this has a lot of scrap. It also makes it easier to search through when there's like 3 less piles on the table. The good thing is a lot of these parts are hidden inside the shoulder unit, so I don't have to be super particular. Like this part will stick out, but like all this, we ain't gonna see that. I don't think. That's why I always dry fit it. Totally missed a nub. All right. black plastic, especially big stuff like this where it's just detailed parts, nice and easy to clean up. You don't have to go super crazy trying to buff it out with your sanding tools, because you can just use like black panel liner, right, to cover up the black of the stress mark. I mean, it's not the preferred way, but rather than just sanding the plastic until you've got all the stress out of it, if it's a unimportant part, kind of like these are, just because they're gonna pop through. This is more detailed parts than anything actual. I guess it's more like underneath detail rather than like surface detail, but it's not going to be glaring that like, hey, you didn't perfectly sand that down like you did with some other stuff. These we will for sure have to sand. So on a curved surface. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do they? Oh, good, they don't. All right. Sometimes a lot of round pieces like this. So this has a spherical opening. A lot of times they'll have like a D shape where like it's 3/4 of the way around and then flat, meaning like you can only put it on in one angle, which means like it has a definite front side, back side, top side, however, whatever orientation it's on there. I don't prefer that. I kind of like the ball joint style because it allows you to rotate it. So if you've scuffed up one area, or one area just looks nice and clean, you can rotate it so that's the visible side. Whereas if it has a flat, it's letting you know this is the front. Just a preference thing. But Master Grade GM. Is that the one with like the old school style box? Some of them are like very old kits where like you open them up and they've got the piece of cardboard over everything where like it's almost like showing you a picture of the completed kit inside the box. I know they've done that. Oh, okay. That's not the one I'm thinking of then. I did see my local mom and pop shop. When I first got into this hobby, the mom and pop shop near me didn't have much of a selection. They probably had 15 kits at any time, and now they've got probably a quarter of their store, one in like the whole outer wall, front to back, absolutely packed with kits. And to my surprise, they have a lot of not just the common kits. They have a lot of stuff that's like I would consider uncommon or older. Like you're gonna find a lot of the more modern production stuff and a lot of the stuff that just sells, like Gundam Wing, the original Gundam, seed kits, Barbatos, just the stuff that sells. But their selection, I don't know if their distributor like gives them pointers on some stuff, but they've got like a lot of none of it's P Bandai, but it's all like retail stuff that I don't see anywhere else. I just picked up a Master Grade Sword Impulse Gundam from them. That was one of the best real grades I ever did. And I was like, I was in there the other day and I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen anywhere where they just had like Sword Impulse Master Grade for sale. It's not rare, it's just not common. There are a few. So for the longest time, that's how my store was. I'd go in there and it would be like it was before I had watched a lot of Gundam. So like I knew RX-78 just because it's the Grandpa Gundam. And they had that. But they had like late Universal Century stuff. Like they had the Vigna Gina and they had an F-91 and they had a lot of the Stardust Memory, like the original Master Grades from like the 2000s, like 2004 era. And I was just kind of like, they got a weird selection. And then eventually, when, I don't know if it was pandemic related or just like, hey, these are selling related, he started selling online. And then he started like cranking through the kits with like his retailer. Like he bought anything that came out. And while some of them are cool, some of them I'm like, man, you got suckered into buying some stuff because nobody's looking for that. And for like 2 or 3 years, that stuff has still been there. And I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't have bought that. But everything else moves, so that's cool. Like he has a lot of those build divers, build fighters. And they're there every time I'm in there because people are like, yeah, I don't want that. It's the one kit in particular that I see all the time is it's like they're 5 golden kits that all combine into this one really big one. I don't know anything about it. I just see it and I'm like, man, nobody wants that. Like that's, I don't even know why they made that. And I don't even know what the series is, but there's this series that I see everywhere at all these stores, and I don't even know what the anime is. It's like that Molly's. I don't even know what they are. Kenbu. I bought one of the kits because it was like a 1/148 scale. And I put it together, and it was neat. It was very real robot feel. I kind of liked it. It looked like something that could have been built with current technology. But, like, I see the... I'm like, I don't even know what this is. Like, it's... There was a joke on, I think maybe the Reddit Gunpla or something. They were just talking about it as like shelf space killers. It's like every single hobby shop is like, we bought this stuff because the distributors are pushing it on us, and nobody even watches the anime, and nobody even knows what it is. But we have like 70 different kits, and we have one of each, and none of them move. So I bought one. Because it was like a very large kit, but I don't see any of that crap moving. All right, let's see. Shelf warmer, yeah, that's kind of the way that other series was described. I'm like, I don't even know what it is. It's like a, I guess it's an anime. I looked it up once. I guess it's from like a current anime, but I don't know. My current shop has a lot of what the hell is Full Metal Panic kits, which I was surprised. I bought one of those and I absolutely hated it. It was like needlessly complex, and the just building the whole chest unit sucked. Like, it was way more complicated. Maybe it was one of those. Like, I had to like. It was almost like the real grade. You know the early real grades where they had the like the inner frame. It was almost like that, where like I had to like fold these two parts together and then fold that whole monstrosity and push it in through this like a heart or butterfly shaped piece of something else. It was like, what am I doing? And like it didn't close up right, and I didn't have fun with it at all. So many like series I learn about from like the whole Robot Wars franchise, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but the guy was a cool unit in the game, and then I end up either buying the model kits or I have a. Is it a Kotobukiya kit? Who did the virtual on kits? I think it's Kotobukiya. Um, I've got a couple of the virtual on kits, and like none of them are color accurate. And I was just like, what a friggin' shame. Like, I I have the want to paint. I just don't have the means to paint. Like, I'm in a condo, and this is a spare bedroom. I really shouldn't be setting up like an airbrush and painting in here. I could set something up in my garage, but like I park in my garage. I don't want to have to like park somewhere else just to set up an airbrush room for an afternoon or something. I don't know. I could do it. I think I'm finding excuses not to. Plus it's kind of costly. I I have a habit of no, it might be a different run on. I have it in my closet. I can probably grab it real quick, but um I have a problem where like I don't want to do something unless I feel like I'm doing it adequately. So I don't want to be like, oh, I'll just get one of these like cheap airbrushes. I'm like, no, I want to get like something that I can use now to learn on, but like will be good when I get proficient at it later. And of course, all those airbrushes and the kits, it's like, oh, it's a $300 airbrush, and then you got to get a $200 compressor. And I'm like, I don't want to spend that much money and then not have a place to use it. Hang on a second. So this is the virtual lawn kit I have. Oh, we can't see it. It's too big. Too big. Let's swap. Oh, this is the virtual lawn kit, and it is Kotobukiya. But I was pretty disappointed that the whole thing is uniform color pink. Like, the whole thing. It's like when you buy like a model tank and everything comes in one color plastic. So I was just like, really? Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. But, I don't know. It is what it is. I could be like a military scale modeler and have to paint literally everything. And I'm complaining about like the half dozen kits that I'm like, it's not color correct right from the factory. It's pretty wild. I'm going to get to the point where like I'm not going to be able to have all this stuff on camera. Because now I'm putting parts that are like this big on. See, I don't know how much of this we're even going to see. Oh yeah, these are just the shoulders. Like, these are just the part that go up like this. Yeah, I am going to end up top coating this whole thing because it's all water slides and I don't like how finicky water slides get, but also welcome, Holy. So I don't know, I don't think any of this is visible. I'm not trying to be lazy, but like that's a lot of detail for me to try and get in there and like just panel line all this stuff to then close it up. So if something will be visible, I'll probably hit it. Did I put that? I put it in backwards. What a friggin' goon. What a goon I am. I put them both in backwards. I'm a double goon. Alright, well, at least it's just two hollow pieces of plastic that I can pop apart easy enough. I say that. Alright, yeah, they do come apart easy enough. But yeah, even the high-grade Sinanju Stein that I put together, I put the water slides on it, didn't think too much of it, moved it, like I brought it on camera to say, here's the guy, and then when I put my thumb down, like 2 of the water slides were stuck on the inside of my thumb, and I'm just like, God damn it. I wanted to like just ride this out and maybe put them inside and top coat it when I'm all done, but just, I don't know. I paid this much for a kit. I want to lock those water slides down. Alright, so now I put the kit together the correct way. I had this piece in like this, but it goes like this. Stupid. And of course, because they're so big, there's like 5 different pins in there that close it all up. So I gotta like move the whole part separator around. Oh God, did I break something? No, I didn't. I thought I broke a part. I was a loud pop, but nothing broke. Oh, there's a piece inside. It just kind of like flipped on a piece inside and made a loud pop noise. Come on. See, I was saying I was moving along too quick. I sure was. I didn't even look at the instructions to realize that I done goofed. Oh god, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 pegs inside each one. I'm kind of shocked that Armored Core is doing kits with Kotobukiya and Bandai at the same time. Like they signed a license with both of them. It's pretty cool though. I like the idea of like an Armored Core. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't know to what level Bandai is doing them, because it looks like Bandai is doing a cross promotion with Bandai 30-minute missions in Armored Core. Comrade, what is up, man? So it looks as if like the Armored Core kits are going like the 30-minute mission style. Yeah, we're going well enough. I mean, you just missed me screwing up and putting a part in backwards, but we're going to pretend that didn't happen. But the idea of like a 30-minute mission kit is everything's supposed to be like interchangeable, and like you can pop the arms and legs and weapons and kind of like build whatever you want, which is pretty cool in Armored Core sense, where like you could build up your kit if they make like one of each of the manufacturers. You could kind of build up what you actually played in game, which would be kind of neat. I just don't know to what extent they're going to go. However, yeah, Bandai's going to kick Kotobukiya's ass. Just because that's what they do. So, let me check a few more parts to see how much we cover up. So we put N. Looks like it covers all of it. Damn. All right. They were. I have never built one myself, but I have looked at a few of the prominent like Gundam YouTubers that have built them, and they friggin' hate them. I think they built like the Armored Core 4 kits, and the VOB booster White Glint, and oh my gosh, they were so mad at that kit. And I mean, rightfully so. It's too thin and it's too fragile for what it is. Yeah, it's like you almost need to glue that entire kit, because it's just like, no, that ain't gonna work. Ooh, messed that up. That's all right. I did pre-order I think it's from Armored Core 2. Yeah, it's so there's a lot of different types of plastic, and for whatever reason, it feels like Kotobukiya used like the worst across the board. Like it's not, it's very fragile, but it also like doesn't take well to paint. It doesn't take well to anything. Like it's just, you just put it together and look at it, and if you try and paint it, it doesn't work well, and if it breaks over time, and if you try and do too much with it, like the arms will break or droop because of the size of the weapons it's holding and stuff. It's just, they were not a fan. And then, as you guys know, because they've been so scarce, the kits are like $300 on the secondary market, and it's like, you're gonna pay that much money for a kit that sucks? So I'm happy Bandai's at least getting involved, even if they're not like top of the line Armored Core model kits. Like the 30-minute mission kits should be fun. Especially the way Armored Core 6 did it, where like the older games, like there was Crest, Mirage parts, but they didn't have like a full set. Like it was just like in Armored Core 6, they were all named the same thing. It was like the head, the chest, the arms, the legs, all of one number, whatever you want to call it. And it all visually went together. I would assume you'd probably get the Armored Core equivalent of that, where like everything that went together as one 30-minute mission kit, and then like you can get another one and just interchange anything. I don't know if I'd call them high grade equivalent, but that's probably the closest to it. The original like design intent of a 30-minute mission, where the name came from, was it was supposed to be a kit you could put together in 30 minutes. Like sit down with some nippers and just cut the whole thing out and put it together, and it shouldn't take you any more than half an hour. It was kind of like they wanted to do highly customizable, interchangeable entry-level stuff. So it's a very low level, but that's good because a lot of people who are just getting into Armored Core 6 probably would just be getting into like modeling hobbies and stuff, so you're not going to want to drop some really complex kit on them because they're just going to be like, what is this? Kind of how I felt when I opened my Virtual On kit and went, what is this? Why is it all like monocolor? I have so many things in my backlog that are in my backlog because I'm like, I don't have the time or the tools to actually finish this. Like, I thought the kit would be awesome, and then I opened it up and went, what did they do? So but yeah, if you're an absolute beginner, 30-minute missions, even those will probably be easy for you. I think that's the intent. But I did buy... I don't even know what it is. It is... this thing. I bought this one. Nope, come on. Where are you? Okay, so it's from Nexus. Yeah, I got the Nexus kit because that's the Armored Core that I like. I like 3rd gen, even late 3rd gen, Last Raven, Nexus. I love that shit. So I got that kit because, like, the White Glint kit is hot garbage. I think the Armored Core 5 kits are a little better. I just know the Armored Core 4 kits are trash. Quality-wise. I don't mean... I don't know. What other way could I possibly mean? I was going to say, like, it's not trash opinion because I don't like 4. But... Alright. Let's get... that. Yeah, when they first came out, I was like... Or not came out, got reintroduced. I was like, oh, I'm going to buy all these. I've seen these forever. I'm just like, I don't want to spend my money on them. Like, I know they're not good ahead of time. So, the only one that I got was the Nexus. Nexus is kind of weird. I played the hell out of Armored Core 1... like 1st gen. Armored Core 1, Project Phantasm, and Master of Arena. And then when 2 came out, like, I bought it, but I wasn't, like, super into it. I don't really know why. And I never got Another Age. And then I didn't even know 3 came out. When 3 came out, I was over at my friend's house, Seldia, who's in here now and they had like Armored Core, and I was like, oh, there's another one of these? And it was so much better than anything I had ever seen before. I think it was just straight up Armored Core 3. And I looked for it at the store, and I think Armored Core 3 and Silent Line had like come out, and I think the next thing at the time was Nexus that had like just come out. When I started realizing, oh yeah, Armored Core has got more content. Cool, I should check it out. And so I guess I literally went from like Armored Core 2 into Nexus. So I didn't have a problem like unlearning the old game's controls because I hadn't played one in forever. And then like last year when I was doing my Armored Core full series playthrough and I went from like Silent Line into Nexus, just hitting that wall where like the controls flipped on me, I'm like, I can't figure this out. I don't know why I liked this so much back in the day. It was a very weird unlearning process to go from face buttons controlling jumping and shooting to now, oh yeah, those are now everything's up on the shoulder buttons because you don't want to like let go of the thumbsticks to shoot and everything else. It was a rough transition, and I don't remember, like, I don't think I went through that before. All right, that's all clean. I don't. Oh. We got panel lining. We got more. But I gotta say, I'm disappointed to say it, but I don't like Armored Core 6 that much. I wouldn't say it's trending towards dislike. It's just like I feel neutral towards it. I don't like it, but I don't dislike it, which is kind of sad. That's kind of what I feel. It feels like the missions are there just to say you have missions. And then like the real point is like you're just going to like fight bosses in it. Not to say that Armored Core as a franchise didn't have bosses, but like I felt it felt very different to be like when I was in Armored Core 1 and I fought Valkyrie for the first time and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's kicking my ass. What do I do? But then it doesn't feel that way in Armored Core 4. It doesn't, or 6. It doesn't feel like that same like I hope I can put something together to beat Valkyrie on the bosses, because the bosses just feel like too big and like they tried to make it too epic. Like if that makes any sense, like when it was just a tough arena battle, even if you knew the AI was cheating, it still felt like one-on-one. It feels like they made the scale too grand. Like when you're going after that walker thing in the desert, even that thing, it was like, I don't know. It just felt like they made the scale too big. And it also feels like there's way less parts or viable parts. Maybe that's a better term for it. Because even in the old Armored Cores, parts were gated. Like you didn't get parts until certain parts of the campaign. So I can't say like, oh, they're not giving you enough parts. But when I look at like on a lot of posts on the subreddit, people will be like, rate my build. And I look at it, and in my head, I'm like, your build is 75% the same as everybody else's. You're using the same guns, the same legs. The only difference is, like, paint scheme. Yeah, it's it just feels like the game was it, I don't know. Part of it was me being stubborn and wanting it to be different. Like, cuz I saw everybody using dual Zimmerman shotguns, and then the Songbird grenade launchers, and then they call them the wheelchair legs, but like the tread legs that are like really fast. And I'm like, why is everybody using the exact same shit? Why are you all like saying, "Oh, rate my build"? I'm like, it's the same build. It's the meta. And everybody was using it, and then I played the game and I was like, "Oh, it's cuz everything else sucks by comparison." And I don't mean like it sucks. I just mean like, why would I use a gun that does 700 damage when I could freely swap it out for something that does like 1700 with like the same range? It's just like, oh, it's because it's a bad option to use anything else. And the whole FCS system, I don't really dig the way they did that. Like, I adored the way Armored Core, older gens, like up to 3, did the FCS, where like it changed your sight lock, where you could have a horizontal one or a vertical one, or like a or like a centered one, or like a really tiny one with a long distance, so you could figure out how you wanted to put your build together based on how you want it to play. And it just feels like in 6, it just only has to do with your missile aim time, like how quick the missiles work. And I'm like, really? That's it? What does that mean? Be careful of pointed parts. I mean, yeah, I should be careful of pointed parts, but like, what do you mean? Oh, I think I just know what they meant, because it was pretty sharp on the palm of my hand. I think they mean, don't cut yourself. I mean, I'm happy that Armored Core 6 got a lot of success. I just wish it... And it feels like a return to the older style of Armored Core. I guess I just didn't like how... Yeah, go right into this. You only told me about this. How was I supposed to know this could hurt me as well? Oh, I see. Okay, there we go. I was trying to get this line up lower and nothing was working, but... No, they just mean like this corner is especially sharp, and you're supposed to push right here. So I could assume somebody would be like, "Oh, let me just push with my palm," and like bury that right into their hand. Because you know how us Americans are. We're stupid. Alright, something's not... That's what's going on. It's not fully... This piece isn't fully in there. That's what... The bottom was out a little bit further, and it was... I couldn't get this to line up because with the bottom... I'm exaggerating, but with the bottom out, it was like this, and I'm like, why won't it go? What if I get that in... Go figure. You put the parts in the way they're supposed to go in, and it closes up better. Oh, well, look at that gap. Holy cow. Close up, you bastard. What is preventing you from closing? What is doing it? Don't make me open you. I don't want to. What is this? How do we get this to close? I think pressing in the middle. No, look at that. That's a horrible gap. Let's look at this one and figure out. So there's... Hey! Alright, so that one is all closed. And then this thing comes in and out. What's up, Calvin? Or should I say Cal lol? Alright. So let's try. I can't, like, I'm hitting the TV behind it, just trying to even get this on camera. Let's try. Get this in. This robot is really, really big. It's like 3 feet tall. Maybe. It's about the size of a baby. I saw a picture of like a 2-year-old. Here, I'll show you a picture. It looks like that. I think I might bring it in a car seat, get on an airplane, and be like, this is my child. For he's very sick and needs a doctor. The balancer, that is a sponge that helps me, so when I use the nippers and I cut the parts off, it leaves a mark, and I rub the balancer over it, and it helps clean up the cut marks. The razor, that's part of it too. That's like a it's like a nail file almost. It's like sandpaper. Man, these are really, really big shoulders. Right? I always thought, like, looking at these on the ground, they kind of reminded me of like a Star Wars Star Destroyer, or like the I don't know, one of those ships from like the Phantom Menace. I forget whose ship. Maybe that was the... I don't know. That's how little I care about the Phantom Menace. This is another one of those. They're just 2 razors. Maybe it was the Queen's ship. It was like kind of all silver. I don't remember. Gunbuster. I haven't seen Gunbuster, but I know of Gunbuster. That is like a gigantic robot, isn't it? Alright. So the shoulders are mostly done. Alright, what do we got here? It does kind of look like that. Yeah. What's that from? Oh, Gunbuster ship. Well, you're right. It does look like that. All right. My computer. You've seen my computer before. All right, V1. Mechanical watches. That's pretty cool. V1. Yeah, I'm on the same one. V2. V1. And V2. German rockets, right here. So now I need V7, which is right here. Now we're done with the V's. Where is the part? Oh, here they are. So that's X2, is that right? X1, X2, 6, yep, all right. So we need this. I don't think I knew that. This is so much plastic and so many screeching sounds. I apologize. That probably sounded horrible because it did. It was horrible. It was probably more horrible in person than whatever my microphone picked up. That nails on a chalkboard sound probably doesn't translate the same. All right. Oh God, we need two more parts. W-A. They're on the ground. Here they are. Now, after these parts, the shoulders should be complete. What are we at for a time? An hour? I think we'll get this done. We got an hour to go. Because this kit is enormous, that's why. This is the biggest kit they make. So these are the shoulders, but here's the rest of it. So these go on here. I mean, on the overhead camera, you can't even see it. You got to look at me holding it up to see just how big it is. So we're going to move these out of the way for now. And we're going to hope that they don't press random buttons on my keyboard because I had to set them on my keyboard. So we'll move some of these things aside. These things aside. And we'll start cleaning up some parts. Now it's kind of weird they give me these parts because these parts hold on the, like that big halo ring thing, but that's a separate kit. That's all P Bandai. I would think these parts that hold on the effect kit would be in the effect kit box. Not a fan of P Bandai cannibalizing kits. Because that is the whole reason I threw away my High Nu Verka kit. Because I bought the heavy weapon systems for it. And like the first step they tell you to do is like rip the whole kit apart and take like a centerpiece out of it. And in doing so, I like shredded the water slides that I put on it. I was like, you guys couldn't, and it was a poly cap. I was like, you guys couldn't spring for one poly cap? You wanted me to rip the entire model apart to pull a poly cap out of it? That's lazy. And unfortunately, that's the kit that's absolutely loaded with water slides because it's that purple to white gradient on all the fins, and that's all done with water slides, and those were the parts that I accidentally brushed up against and they just shredded themselves. I was not a fan when I realized how badly I had ruined those parts for a poly cap. Good thing is a lot of these parts will never be seen, so I can kind of work quick on these too. Although these we're going to panel line. Those we don't need to. This, there's no detail on it. Imagining if they made a real grade version of this kit, one, how much it would cost, but two, how many parts it would be. I would probably drive myself nuts with a real grade this big. Oh, this is a good one because none of these parts show because they're all side gated and they are all in a pocket. So I don't have to clean any of those up. That is a good call. They made a lot of bad calls, but that right there is a good call. All right. Looks okay. So I'm glad this goes together and comes apart pretty easy because I probably am going to want to take this whole thing apart to water slide it. I don't know. I don't think I want to try and put like water slides on a vertical surface and stuff. So these shoulders are connected with massive pins like an inch around for one of them and then two like half-inch pins. But it looks like they pop on and off relatively easy, so I'll be able to take them off, water slide them, and then put them back on. All right. So these go right into this pocket, I think. Yo, what is that doing? Stop doing that. Why is it damaging the plastic? I don't like this at all. Oh, because it's not right. Oh my god. I did them backwards. Even though the guide says 2 and 1 and 1 and 2. Is the guide wrong? Well, I just panel lined the wrong side. Whatever. I only did 2 of them.
Don't even need to panel line these, but there's just an edge right there that would take it so well. So
We're hitting it. We got time to fill. Watch it pop in when it's supposed to work. Oh wow, goes right in. Goes right in.
idiot.
Where's my... Oh, there it is. All right, now those are on. Must have been wild to try and figure out how to make a kit this big. All right. All right, now those are in. So on the back side, this fits right into here. There's a nub or a gate mark that I don't like. Rest of that is nice and clean now. That's actually a super smart design because we're putting ABS plastic up here, which will allow that to come on and off a lot easier. It's more just like a lock because now that's on that arm and it kind of like rotates down if we want to open it. And then that ABS plastic locks onto that nub when it's in the up position. Pretty cool design. Same thing for this one. It's locked up. Now we put these. Now these, all the gate. This thing is like 1/4 inch thick. All the gate marks are on here, and I'm being a little bit lazy because this is all pocketed on this side, so we don't have much cleanup. As soon as we get this in here, and we, whoa, this is so large. This doesn't feel like Gundam. It's so big. Make sure all the edges are in there. And that one's not. Why isn't that going? Let's go with that one first. Since it's being problematic. Rest pops in. And we just push it flush. And hidden in that pocket are all the gate marks that we didn't have to clean up. Saved us, I don't know, 5 minutes. Well, whatever. It's a high grade. Not saying it's okay to be sloppy because it's a high grade, but I'm saying maybe that is what I'm saying. I don't know. This is one of those kits that's like a white whale kit. So I'm trying not to cut corners on it. I'm just understanding what won't be visible once this is built up. So now, these are the shoulders. Monstrous anchor points here. These are the 1.5 inch sockets that accept the shoulder joints. Got some thrusters that don't move very much, which are mostly hidden. You don't even see them from the outside. All this is hidden. If we open these up, we can see some of the internals. But this is where that like halo piece projects from. And then these would come off and they would attach, and they build like a, well, you can't see on the big camera, but they build like an arc from one shoulder to the other, like a big halo. But I don't have that P Bandai kit because I saw it available for P Bandai well before I ever thought I would own one of these kits, so I didn't buy it. And now it's all on the secondary market for like $85 to $100, and I'm like, I'm not buying. I am not buying a effect kit that's literally just like a ring for like $100. Drift, welcome. Yeah, I believe this is. It depends on how you want to measure size, but I believe this is the biggest Gundam kit that's out there. There is the high grade Dendrobium, which is longer, but this is taller. So I have them both. So however you want to measure size. But yes, this is a very, very large kit. What is with this hideous corner, though? It feels like there's a missing part here. Like there's just a gap. So now we fit the other shoulder on. All right. So I can't even show you guys down here. Thank you for the follow, Drift. Well, I can kind of show you. So this is what we built before. Now here's the shoulder that all locks on. And I'll do myself a favor because we can't even see what we're doing here. So these open up, and the effects part that I was referencing, this opens up. This opens up. Come on. And it projects a giant halo that comes out of this one, goes all the way up and back into this one. And these come off, and they are like supports for the halo because it's segmented as it goes up and around. But I don't have it. It makes the kit even taller. And I don't want to pay $100 just for like a circle, literally. So I think we'll keep that closed for now. And now we've mostly got the upper section. Is this side as janky too? Yeah, look at these pockets. Like right here, it's just a triangle of nothingness. It feels like there should be more in there. Like it looks like it's missing a part, but it's the same on the front and the back, and both sides. So I guess it's correct. It's just unpleasant looking. This is so big. This is so large. I don't know. So this guy eventually rides in that center, but we don't have it fully closed up yet, so I'm just going to leave him over here. This is heavy. It's like tiring my arm out from holding it. And this is just the shoulder sections. Because here's the core. We've got to finish the hip. And then the legs and everything else. The arms. I think there's 6 arms, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because the arms go, 2 of them go here and here. And then the third ones are on these shoulder pegs. So I can set it on my desk, but you guys can't even see it. This is silly. But I love it. That's why I bought this kit. I knew it was ridiculous. That's why I spent the money. So the next piece looks like it is... We start on... let's move this. Whoa. So we start on the waist. Some front flaps here. Connect these two. These are the gigantic hip units. The front flaps connect to the waist. All this housing closes in. Then the enormous butt flap. I only have half an hour. I don't think I'm going to be able to tackle this entire waist unit, but we'll see how much we can get. But I will be right back before we get started on the next step. So bear with me. I was just a test to see if you guys noticed. So you probably did not hear me say, "Oh, thank you for the follow." So thank you for the follow. Now that you can hear me. Um, yeah, I was babbling to myself, saying that normally a uh, a front skirt on a high grade having 3 parts would be overkill. But even on this, it feels like, yeah, it's probably about the right amount, but it's still just wild how large these are. So much so that they can't even use a bowl joint. They have to use like the reinforcement on the joint. But it's also nice that primarily we're going to be looking at this from the front. And they put extra detail on the front as far as just surface detail for a high grade. Normally you wouldn't get something like that from a high grade, but if you're paying this much money for a kit, it's nice that they give you a little extra, because this is definitely going to get shelf presence, and it's going to be what people are looking at. Have you ever built one of these up, Mark? I believe I've seen a lot of your stuff on Twitter. Possibly. Oh, I'm using the wrong ones. Nope, those are the right ones. Yeah, I would say full mechanics. As I said to myself, considering how I was muted, comparatively, like for a front skirt, there's quite a bit of detail. This is the butt flap for the back. There's nothing. It's like a giant smooth piece of plastic, and I think there's like one water slide. It has like a Zeong water slide that goes there. But past that, there's really nothing here. And I think it's mostly because I keep forgetting the size of this throws me off, because I keep forgetting it's a high grade. I have to like keep reminding myself of that. Because when I look at it, I'm like, there's no detail on any of this. And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's a high grade. They just kind of went out of their way on the parts that show. Because yeah, it's gonna command attention when you're looking at it. I didn't think I'd get a chance to get one of these. I think back in May, they went up on P Bandai, and I happened to be around at the time, and I got my pre-order in, and I was kind of shocked. But I have the room for it, as far as I can get it on my top shelf there, but I'm going to have to move a lot of stuff around. Going to have to juggle. But I pulled the trigger on it. I have the Dendrobium as well. But that one, I don't know how I feel about that one. That is that's an older kit, and it doesn't have, like, anytime you start using like bigger plastic, I don't really know how to describe it. Like with this part, how there's like a central stiffener on here. They've cleverly hid this stiffener by running it through the part. Whereas on the Dendrobium, they didn't go to this level of detail. It would just be smooth, and you can see like the web on this side. Like you can just kind of see the molding in the plastic. And it's kind of disappointing that like a kit that big and that expensive, you look at it and you're like, oh, it looks like it's made out of plastic. I had some reservations about it, because I do feel like I want to paint that whole kit rather than... Altison, what's up, man? I feel like I want to paint it because I don't want it to look plastic at the end of the day. This kit clearly is much newer, so they did some more clever stuff. Probably I don't know. Yeah, so I have stuff like this that it's almost like a sanding sponge, and it is rough. I would be able to go over the whole surface of it and kind of scuff it up and kind of make it not look like plastic. Um, but there's so much of it. I don't know how. It's just so big that I don't know how I would kind of do all of it. That's one of those things where, like, if I scuff up a small portion of it, it's like, oh, that may look good, but if I start doing the whole thing, it may just look like a scratched up piece of junk at the end of the day. I don't know. Um, I do think painting it would probably be the best way to go because I could go with like a matte paint spray over the whole thing. But as I've said before, yeah, that's. I was either thinking like a matte top coat or paint. That's true. Something that big, you would think would get dinked up a lot. Um, the main issue with it is like the covers that fold down over. When the light catches them, you can see like the egg crate where the plastic is thicker on the backside. It just looks really bad. Um, I can kind of defeat that by posing it with like the missile doors open. I've seen some cool aftermarket kits that really like up detail all those missile bays, and I think there's even some resin missiles that fit in there that look really cool. Um, but I don't know. I think there's a few ways I can go. I'm actually excited. That kit, I don't know when they did a last production of it, but they're doing another one relatively soon. And it's kind of giving me some hope that, like, if they come out with a new run on that kit, maybe there's some third party modifications that'll come out. Like, I know there's a lot of custom water slides and stuff for that. A kit I want that hasn't been made. That would be a cool kit. I have the Master Grade ESX, but I haven't put that one together yet. Real Grade would be pretty nice. Honestly, I want like a real grade of everything. Real Grade has come so far. Those first, what do you want to call them? The inner frame real grades were a little janky. I really like the progress that Bandai made with them. Master Grade Atlas is there one? I believe, isn't there like an Atlas Verka, or was that like an April Fool's thing I saw? What? So two kits that I want would be like anything non-high, like there's like a high grade Gerbera Tetra out there, and I'm just like, that's no good. Like, I just like that kit because it's so clean that I feel like it needs more than just like a high grade. But also there was supposed to be like, all right, so what did I see then? I saw something Atlas, and so I thought. Remember when they did that vote, like a fan poll for like what kit do you want for the next Verka, and everyone voted for the G Self, and then they were just like, oh, okay, well, we're not going to do that. We just wanted to know what you wanted. We're not going to make that. But if I had to pick like a even a master grade G Self would be nice. All right, let's see. These go on the inside. Oh, wow, that's ugly. That's ugly. I thought I wasn't going to see that. This kit actually had some flash on it. I was surprised that it was like a Bandai kit with flash. I've seen flash on like old master grades, like those oh, what did I see it on? The kits from like G Gundam. Like the Devil Gundam maybe? No, not Devil Gundam. I forget which one it was. It had like flash on it, and I was like, "What?" And this one had some too, but it wasn't a lot. But it was because the part was really really thick. It was up in the shoulders. Right. That's what I was gonna say. Like, it was some of the parts that make up these really thick joints of the shoulders, and I think it was because it was almost like 3/8 inch thick. That like the mold was just so thick. You can almost see the thickness of this. Um, it wasn't bad. It was on like an end piece that I think gets covered up by something else anyway. But it was just like looking at it, and I was like, "Is that flash?" And it was. I've gone so long without seeing it, without actually having to clean it up. Oh, Revel. Oh my gosh, those kits are like, ah, they're so bad. Now, what I didn't know was there's like Revell Germany and Revell. I mean, I think I did know that Germany had its own because they were a German company. But I guess I didn't realize that like they gave like North America the bottom of the barrel molds because like I'd see some of the Revell kits and they were like really nice, and then I'd buy one and it would be like the kits were so warped and covered with flash that it was like almost like an eighth of an inch between the halves of an airplane or something, and I'm like, what is this? And then somebody kind of told me, yeah, you want to get the blue box kits because those are the ones from the German molds. The full image kits are the ones that are like kits from 50 years ago that they're still using. They're so warped. So, Mark, now you got me really curious. I'm not doubting you. I just remember seeing pictures of like a master grade atlas, and I was just like, "Oh, that's cool." I didn't care for it. I just remember seeing it, and I'm like, "God, I don't think it was April Fool's, but it maybe it was." I'm gonna Google that real quick and see what that was. Maybe it was just something that they like. I remember seeing it under glass, so maybe it was just something that they like put together and were like, "Here it is, but we're not gonna make this." What did I see? So do you mean third party actual Gundam kits, or do you mean like the third party other kits like non Gundam? Because I did buy a bunch of kits that are not Gundam kits, but I haven't put them together yet. I don't know which ones I bought because I don't even know their names, but I think one of them was. So I have a distinct memory, maybe like a year to a year and a half ago, of like something on Twitter where it was when Bandai kind of does their release of like an unpainted kit, and it's usually just in that gray plastic, and it was like the full Atlas Gundam with a backpack and everything. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I didn't want it, but I was like, I know a lot of people do want this. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I have. I'll pull some out of my closet in a bit, because I'm gonna wrap this up pretty soon. I'm just gonna probably clean up these parts here, and we'll call it a stream for now. But I have, I think, 3 like third-party kits that are just like. I was on a kick for a while, mostly during the pandemic, where like if something looked cool, I'd just buy it because it was like, well, it's in stock now. I might want it later, but I don't know. I got the cash now. I don't have the time to build it now. I'll just buy it. So I bought a whole bunch of stuff without even really knowing what I was buying. So I know I have like 3 Wow Cool Robot kits that I don't think are from anything. Although, if you look at a lot of them, you can tell what they're supposed to be rip-offs of. Like, some of them... Yeah, I've kind of noticed that. Bandai's... I don't want to say been, like, abandoning, but, like, not doing much with the 100 scale. Like, they... At least Master Grade. What's the last Master Grade that they came out with? I remember, like, the Barbatos got a full mechanics, and then out of nowhere they came out with, like... the Master Grade of it, and it was a really good Master Grade. I put that kit together. It was a very nice build. Everything went together really smart. I can't think of... I mean, there probably was something. I just can't remember it. But a lot of their 1/100 scale lately has been full mechanics, which is cool. Like, they've done, like, a lot of the Seed Destiny kits, like the Forbidden Gundam and the, what is it, Raider Gundam, and that whole thing. And it's cool, but, like... I don't know. I mean, I guess technically the Zeta Verka is a Master Grade, but it's... I don't know. I don't like Zeta Gundam as a series. I don't like Zeta Gundam as a real grade. I hate that real grade. So I started just like seeing stuff on like Gundam Planet or whatever, and it was like... There was one kit, I don't even remember how they advertised it, but they were just like, we don't even know what this thing is, but it looks cool, and we only have a few of them, so buy it. So I did. Like, I don't even know what I bought. I think I have 3, maybe 4 Wow Cool Robot kits that are just like Chinese. I don't know what they are, but it looks cool. So... I think the Thor... A lot of them I look at and I'm like, these are cool, but it looks like something. One of them looked like it was supposed to be almost like some Overwatch character. I forget his name. The dude with a hammer from Overwatch, but these are wild. These are so big. For comparison, there's the high grade. And there's the front skirts. Let's dig into the closet. Let's see what the secrets are hidden in the backlog. All right, I'm going to switch this over because we don't need that. Here's how large it is so far, though. This is big. Also, if you were wondering, this is the size box it came in. Whoa, whoa. Very, very large box. So, you can't see it too well. There's my backlog. I got a lot of friggin' Gundam kits in there. However, these are my Wow Cool Robot kits that I picked up. This one was one of the first ones I saw. I don't know what it is. It kind of looks like a mix of G-Self and Wing Gundam, maybe? Those are the vibes I'm getting from it. Like the bunny ears rather than the V-fin. Transforms into like a fighter mode. The shield really looks like Wing Gundam shield. Getting a lot of, I guess it's more focused back here, but you can't see the detail, so that's annoying. I got this guy. This was the one, I don't know what this is. I have no idea what this is. But this was the one that I think even Gundam Planet, their write-up was like, we don't know what this is, but we got a bunch of them. So this one literally looks like just a random robot. I couldn't find any sort of like similarities with this other than like maybe something from Super Robot Wars. It kind of looks like the Hook Beam kit, but I don't know. This one's one of the more popular ones, the Moonlight Judge. This one's the whole, like, it looks like Freedom Gundam smashed up with Death Scythe. Which, I mean, not a bad combination. But this one's pretty popular, I think. I like how it has the, like a metal weapon. Like the, where is it, the scythe? Yeah, I was just gonna say, it has like a metal one. That's pretty cool. And I grabbed this one for the hell of it too. It kind of looks like the Forbidden Gundam? Not Forbidden. What's the... I don't know. I don't really care for Seed Destiny, but the Seed Destiny one that just got a full mechanics kit. Calamity, maybe? I think it's Calamity. But he looks like the Calamity Gundam mixed with like a Rick Dom from like... It's just the purple with like the red eyes and stuff. So those were just the four that I saw that were like decent priced, and I said, yeah, I'll grab those. But I have, you can't see it, that's the Dendrobium right there. There's a couple perfect grades down bottom, and just a whole shitload of master grades, real grades. Most of that's P Bandai stuff that I grabbed because P Bandai was selling it, and I was like, oh, I gotta get that. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. I originally started this channel to keep me honest and to keep me building, and I ended up playing a little bit more games lately. But when I came back, I got this. I said, "Oh, we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back big. We're gonna come back with the Neo Zeong," and I've been having fun with it. So I may kind of do more Gundam stuff than gaming stuff, because it's helping me burn through my backlog, which I don't do on my own. But I think at some point I'm going to get pictures or something up there and, take suggestions for what people want to see me build up and stuff. Not that I'm a pro at anything or whatever, but just fun. Get a little better each time, I guess. There's some really good people out there that I look at their pictures and I'm like, damn. I think ultimately, like, where I would prefer to go with the hobby. I see a lot of people do like customs where they like match parts and full custom builds and custom paint jobs. I don't like that, but I think I really like the hyper detailed stuff. Like when they up detail stuff with like scribe lines and external parts, like actual metal parts and boosters and pistons and all that stuff. That I think is awesome when people go like that far into a kit. Or I think the most insane thing I've ever seen was, it had to be the Master Grade ESX Gundam. But did you see the kit that was on Twitter maybe a year ago, where the guy completely mechanized the cockpit, and not only mechanized it, put in tiny like screens, like cockpit screens, and like have them turn on. He put in all this tiny wiring and stuff so that like when the cockpit opens up, you can see all the displays are on. It was nuts. Like, I think that is like the some of the coolest stuff you can do out there. But I want to look for that real quick. But I couldn't believe. Oh. I don't know where to find it. I was just gonna do a quick Google. Uh, is that it? That's it. Maybe that's it. No, that's not it. Oh, so this is a 135 kit, a 135 scale. So it's not the master grade, which makes so much more sense because I don't know how he would have done this with a master grade. I don't even know where he got the 135 scale kit. Maybe it's like a resin. Oh, I can only find it on TikTok. Why can I only find it on TikTok? Yeah, it looks like it's the whole mobile suit. So I can't find the specific video of the cockpit. However, this seems to be Takara Modeler. I don't know if that's the person or if they're just sharing it or what, but maybe one of these videos. Oh, the bottom video there, video 10, is cockpit starting up. Here's the cockpit opening test. There's one of the actual cockpit popping out, and you can see the screen working inside and stuff. That's bonkers. That's like my holy grail level of trying to put these kits together. But that's, you know, I don't think I'd ever deal with electronics and wiring stuff in, but I am interested in like scribe lines and kind of doing the whole two-tone type stuff where like obviously it would involve painting rather than just straight box building, which is fine, but like putting in all the extra surface detail and kind of going with who's I think somebody right now is working on their double Zeta. Yeah, this kit right here. This looks so good. This guy's double Zeta progress has been wild because he's showing like before and afters of like just the shoulder pads where it's like, yeah, it started like this and then I spent 6 hours putting all these extra scribe lines and painting and doing a bunch of stuff, and what they turned it into. It was really impressive. But a lot of their work, they show lots of panel lining and comparison, or scribe lining rather, and comparisons and before and afters of just up detailing stuff. That's more of like an art form than it is anything else. But it's pretty cool stuff. All right, I'm probably going to wrap things up for now. We got a lot accomplished. We finished up the shoulders. We got both of these monstrous shoulder, I don't know, blades, shoulder blades. We got these together. We started working on the front skirts, and tomorrow we're gonna get back at it. Tomorrow, 5:30 Eastern, we are going to be back on, and it looks like next we're gonna be working on the waist unit. So we're gonna be doing the core where all the boosters connect in. Lots and lots of thrusters under there. Side skirting, butt flaps, all sorts of good stuff. And just for a laugh, I put this together. This is the action base that it came with a gigantic acrylic rod that it actually sits on this because the boosters are so long. You can't really... you can't put it on an action base without having to support it by an extra 14 inches. But we will be back tomorrow, 5:30. Hitting it hard. Yeah, definitely. I was going to say, I do remember Mark's work from Twitter, and he has some awesome stuff on there. So definitely check his stuff out. A lot of good inspiration there. I remember seeing some of your stuff a while ago, and I knew I remembered the name, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a guy with all awesome Gundam stuff, or Gunpla stuff on there. So, now I was saying now I can put a memory with the name now. So thank you guys for everyone who hung out, chatted, lurked, watched me fumble through putting some pieces in incorrectly and then had to pop it back out, and nobody knows, none the wiser. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good night, and thanks for watching, and I will be back tomorrow at 5:30. Take care.